Klarich friends. We're here with Greg Balderrama, one of our super younger associates, and we're here today to talk about Greg and why he is a criminal defense attorney, and to talk to you folks about the kind of results we can get at Wallin Klarich in many cases that can save people from serious consequences. Hi, Greg.
Hello.
Why don't you tell us a little about your background and what made you want to be a criminal defense attorney?
Well, I'm from Los Angeles, and I was very happy to, I grew up here. I was very happy to attend first UCLA as an undergrad, and then later at Loyola Law School, which is a really good law school. Turned out some very strong litigators over the years. I wanted to immediately get into criminal defense. That's why I went to law school, to help people. Just growing up in Los Angeles, you get a sense for the neighborhoods and you get a sense for people who get unfairly targeted. And I just wanted to really do something that I knew was going to have a direct effect on people's lives. And I enjoy helping people solve problems. And a lot of times people are accused of some very, very egregious actions, and I just want to be there to help them, resolve them. Because a lot of what we do has collateral consequences, either to jobs and certainly immigration, especially with the current administration and climate. And I'm very pleased with our results, especially since starting here.
And what made you decide to come and work with Wallin Klarich?
Wallin Klarich is certainly one of the bigger criminal defense firms, and I believe I described it as the unicorn of criminal defense when I first saw it. It was a very pleasant surprise to know that we have very good resources here, not just with the collective knowledge of all of our attorneys, certainly the experience of this firm being around for over 30 years. I was very, very excited for an opportunity to learn from this type of firm, and I know I brought a lot to the table as well, and I know we just draw off each other's experiences, and I'm very happy with that.
And we're happy with you being here, I can tell you that. Can you talk a little bit about what your clients are going through when they're facing serious criminal charges, and how you work with them to keep them under control so they don't do something crazy?
Right. Well, a lot of times this is their first time being charged with any kind of crime, and you get a sense that the families, which is not something you really expect when you first step in and meet with the clients, it's their families who are also going through it. So you have to be prepared for not just what the clients are going through, but also what the families are going through. And once again, we can talk about the other immigration and, of course, job consequences. One of the things I really like to do is just let them know that you're not the first person to be charged with this. Police make mistakes, DAs make mistakes, and we're going to look into this, and we're going to help you resolve this problem. Hopefully, we can do this with doesn't have an effect on your job or immigration consequences, but we try to be as realistic with what we can get done, and again, I'm very pleased with the results we've had thus far.
Now, a lot of times you'll go to a party or you'll be in court, and people often ask criminal defense attorneys, how can you represent people who have committed a crime? What do you respond?
Well, I say, I get a nice sense that we have an appreciation for the Constitution and what that means. We have a system in place where we don't automatically assume someone's guilty. We have this check of court so that we can have the prosecution prove beyond reasonable doubt that these allegations are true. Police do make mistakes. Prosecutors do make mistakes. We all do. We're human. What I want to stress to people is that these are just allegations, no different than if you are a parent and one of your children, accuses one of their siblings of doing whatever. Obviously, sometimes that lends itself to mistakes or just, premature conclusions. I say that, do you actually want a system in place where somebody can just summarily get convicted just because it sounds right or because there are allegations out there? And no one thinks about it that way until it happens to them. And that's what I try to point out.
Recently, you had a result in a case that was extremely serious charge, yes, and you worked on it for many months. And why don't you talk about what happened?
Right. Well, this was one of those cases where we had somebody who was on a DACA status, which I know has been in the news lately, and he was accused of 3 serious felony counts of possession and distribution of child pornography. A conviction whether it's a misdemeanor or a felony, will lead to a lifetime registration as a sex offender. And obviously that can just destroy one's ability to find work, and certainly would have some immigration consequences. And, not even, to discuss the DACA issue. So what we had to do is would approach this in a manner so as we can see what we can realistically do with the district attorney's office and try to at least present the person behind these charges. I sat down with the supervising district attorney and I sat down with the handling district attorney, and we presented our case. Why this case, why these charges why my client did not deserve this type of conviction. We presented a good mitigation packet, and we talked about him and humanized him. And we were able to get a plea bargain for a non-registrable offense, and of course no jail time, and it was just a great result for everyone. He obviously has his chance to stay in this country now, and not to say that the 290 registration is no longer a possibility. So that was very proud of that result. That was yeah.
And when he came to our office, what was he facing if he had been convicted of those charges?
He was facing felony charges, which meant that he could go to prison or county jail, even with probation. And regardless of how it would have been a conviction, whether it's a misdemeanor or felony, I always say you could do 10 seconds in jail for this kind of conviction. It does not matter. You have to register as a sex offender for life, meaning that you will be accessible for people to know what exactly happened to you. There will be a record, and your reputation would be destroyed. The felony matter would keep you from having any kind of real job. This families could be destroyed by this. It's just such a horrible consequence. So he was, obviously scared, and I understand, that there's a lot of questions that come into this. So we presented our, we put together a plan together how we were going to approach this, and we worked together and we try to alleviate a lot of those fears. And I know he was pleased with the results, and looking forward to the next one.
We have a team of lawyers at Wallin Klarich, which sets our law firm apart in a major way for almost all of our other competitors. And Greg, can you talk about the value of having a team of criminal defense attorneys working together versus a lawyer that's working on his own?
Well, this is as Paul just said, this is a team effort. I know the law and lawyers tend to be very arrogant, and hide the ball, and want personal glory. That's not what you're going to find at this firm. At this firm, collective knowledge is exactly what you need from a criminal defense firm, because there are so many ways to approach a case, and each case is going to be different. So, and the laws are constantly changing. It's just a little, a mountain of a task to try to attack these kinds of felonies or even low-grade misdemeanors. And you never know what's available to you as far as what the local courts will give you, even in simple drug cases. So when we sit together, we have meetings where we present each other with questions. Hey, what do you think about this? How would you approach this? And none of us hide the ball. This isn't about again, personal glory. It's about we think about the client, and we really want to do right by them. And this is how we approach it. And even after these meetings, we forward questions. What do you think about this situation? How can we do this? And we're very, very good about that. And again, I think the results speak for themselves.
The fact that our law firm's lawyers meet on a regular basis in our conference room here in Tustin and can discuss their cases in detail and can get ideas to go back to court and approach a judge and a DA in a different way is one of the many important reasons why we get such outstanding results for our client. Greg is one example of brilliant lawyers that work here, lawyers that are just so committed that they'll come in at nights and weekends, whatever it takes, to get our clients an acquittal or a case dismissed if they're not guilty, or get them the best possible disposition that hopefully will not destroy their lives, because we care about them. Greg, thanks for being here today. And next week we'll be talking about another associate of our firm, so you guys can get to know the different lawyers that are helping our clients on a daily basis. Have a great week.